Record from this. Perfect. So we're going to talk about a couple of things today. Basically, the short of it is, how do you get out of the rat race? And what we're doing to do that. And so we're going to talk about a company called Bit Harvest. And what I'm going to talk about is a bit booster in particular. But I need to answer your question on how do you get out of the rat race? So by definition, getting out of the rat race means that your passive income is greater than your expenses. Okay, that's what it means to get out of the rat race. And by having your passive income greater than your expenses, it means that you're now job optional. But I need to explain what I need to go over a couple of vocabulary words first, so we can kind of get into what we're going to talk about. So this is the cash flow quadrant. Okay, most people, here in Canada, this is how you make your money legally, that is. And so on the left-hand side, we have employees and small business owners. And on the right-hand side is where you want to be, is you've got big business, or you've got a business system, and you've got investors. And I'll explain the differences about these because it's very particular. In this quadrant here, under employee, you pay the most taxes, you make the least income, and you buy the most doodads. And you're going to go, well, what the heck is a doodad, Walter? Well, I'll explain to you. The difference between a doodad is the behavioral difference between these two groups. A doodad is what the bank calls an asset, because you're paying the bank every month. Okay, for them, it's an asset because they're making money. But you want to acquire assets because you want to make the money. And so you need to convert your assets to, you need to convert your doodads, your expenses, into assets. So that's one thing, one different behavioral difference between middle-class people and employees and investors. The way people migrate often is they trade time for money. Okay, so they work a job, they get paid. They don't work, they don't get paid. And that becomes a problem in this section, is if you don't work, you don't get paid. Small business, same type of thing. The people that fit into this category would be doctors, lawyers, well-educated people, also tradespeople, the painters, contractors, plumbers, whatever. These people tend to own their own small business, because if you're going to do it right, do it yourself. But they're also, if they don't work, they don't make money. And so people want to get out of this quadrant here, these two. This quadrant would be businesses, like big businesses, or a business system. Okay, so a business system, for example, would be like a franchise, or relationship marketing businesses. Those fit into that. Okay, and the next this section here, this is the one that we want to be in. We want to be in investors, because we get our assets working for us, and we make passive income, and you become job optional because your passive income is now greater than your expenses. Okay, and so that's the whole entire reason why we're here, is to make your passive income greater than your expenses. So I want to talk about the greatest asset that exists. Okay, this asset is called Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is has been the best performing asset in 8 of the past 11 years. Okay, why is Bitcoin the best asset? Because it's a perfect way to store your wealth. Okay, number one, because it's like gold, except it's better. Okay, it's like gold because you can transfer it to someone else, you can store your wealth in it, you can give it to someone else, and you can easily transmit it around the world. Not too hard with Bitcoin, not too hard with gold. But the reason why Bitcoin is better is because it doesn't matter how much you send to one person to another. Okay, and you don't have to have special permission to do that, and it's not destructible, and there's a finite amount. And so because there's a finite amount, the price of Bitcoin goes up and down, but it eventually continues to go up. And they're projecting that Bitcoin will be in the millions in the next 4 or 5 years. Okay, it goes up and down. We acknowledge that. But looking at the trajectory over time, this is what experts are expecting. It's not what I say. It's what people like Michael Saylor say. I would encourage you guys to look at him and find out what's going on here. Why is Bitcoin so important to own? And so by us owning Bitcoin, we can store our wealth there. And let me explain to you how Bitcoin is made. Okay. So every single transaction that occurs in the world of Bitcoin is someone sending Bitcoin from one place to another. Okay. From one place to another. Bitcoin is being moved and it's being logged on the blockchain, which you cannot change, and it's forever. It stays there. Once it's there, it's entered in. Okay. And what happens is Bitcoin, every single transaction that occurs, and this here is a graphical representation of every single transaction of Bitcoin that's occurring right now. Every single one of these blocks that's falling is a transaction of Bitcoin, and that transaction of Bitcoin has to be recorded. And so this is where a miner comes in. This is a machine. It has no intelligence. It just simply fires full speed ahead and tries to resolve a mathematical computation. Once it resolves that mathematical computation, it then posts on the blockchain that this transaction has occurred. Okay. So every single one of these transactions, a computer is resolving that transaction. And there's a fee that happens when Bitcoin transfers from place A to place B. A fee is transacted, and that fee is paid to the computer that resolves the question first. After resolving, and the next computers that come up, those are then called confirmations, but only the first computer that put the CPU power into the process receives the reward of the commission. All of the commission is dumped into a mining pool. Okay, all of this transactions. After 10 minutes, the entire block is then revealed, and that's dumped into the mining pool, and a little bit of Bitcoin is created as a result of the revealing of this process. Okay, so each one of these miners is receiving Bitcoin as they transact as a result of the transfer fees, and those that contributed to each one processing, they then get to claim a portion of this in their and they can receive that back. Okay, so the reason why we're talking about this, I don't want to do that. The reason why we're talking about this is because we get paid as a result of the mining operation that's going on. Okay. And so to explain, so this is like a mining operation. There's hundreds of miners on the wall, and each one of them receives a little bit of Bitcoin when it processes correctly the transactions. Okay. So part of the problem with general mining is because they're just going full speed ahead, there's a lot of loss in power. There's a lot of loss in processing speed. There's a lot of losses that occur. One of the losses is you've got jobs that appear on the network, and it's called they detect a movement on the network, and they don't know until they get to the end of the equation that it was a correct job or anything. And so it wasted its time processing jobs that are just simply not jobs. What happens with the booster is we've got a contract with mining companies, 3 mining companies, in fact. And the booster sits at the server room. You don't have to plug it into your computer. It just sits in the server room, and they have a VPN connection to the mining farm. And what it does is it connects to the mining farm, and it uses the connection to determine what's going on in the network, what are real jobs that need to be processed. And what it does is it gives those easiest jobs first back to the miners. And then the miners will process them more quickly. And it also throws out the garbage jobs. As a result, the miners are processing not only more quickly, but more efficiently. And so by them processing more efficiently, they're producing Bitcoin. And so what happens is with the Bitcoin is they're produced every single day. At the end of the day, all of the Bitcoin is in the mining pool, and those people that contributed to the mining can then pull out their Bitcoins at the end of the day. We, the name of the company is BitHarvest, have produced since June 26th. We started in March. We've produced 100 Bitcoins. We've gone up since then. These 100 Bitcoins that we've produced, we share 60% back to the mining company. 60% goes to them. 30% goes to us, the booster owners, and 10% goes to the company. And so this is a shared synergistic method that we all can make money as a result. Okay, so we buy the boosters, and we're booster owners, and we receive 30% of those boosters. As an example, since we've made 100 Bitcoin, so of that example, 30 Bitcoin went back to us, 60 Bitcoin went to the mining farm, and it reduces their, so they are recompensed for the electricity that they didn't use, and for the efficiency of the machine. Now it's more efficient. So they receive 60%, that's the contract. We receive 30%, and 10% goes to the company. So let's talk about a little bit more about the booster itself. Okay, so the booster costs $1,000, and you can break the booster into shared portions. So that's $10 each, and each the output that we receive on a daily basis is about $5 to $10 a day. Okay, and this is how we have assets working for us, because the booster itself is an asset. It's something that generates income. For example, a motorbike, it's not an asset, it's a doodad. A car, not an asset, it's a doodad. A house, not an asset, unless of course you take that asset and you open an Airbnb with it. That's an example. Now it's an asset because it's making you money every month making you money. And that's what this Bit Booster does, is it makes us money every single day. Every single day, it makes us money. Okay, this is kind of an example of the output of the booster. It's miners that it's connecting to, and the efficiency that it's producing. So it's between $5 and $10 a day that one booster produces. And so you go, well, to get out of the rat race, I need $100 a day. Not a problem. Then you need about 30 boosters. Well, for me to get out of the rat race, because I've got more expenses, more bills, I need $1,000 a day. Not a problem. Need about 500 boosters then. Okay. And so that just gives you an example of what I'm talking about, where if you have assets working for you, the assets work, and we do, this is truly passive income. Okay. The assets are working for you, and away they go. This here is simply describing the regular mining machine. You have to have a mining machine, and we've got a contract with 3 different companies, like I said. And like I said, also the booster, it doesn't connect to your computer. It's on the server room, and there's three different in the main office. There's 3 different locations where they've got boosters and offsite against disaster recovery. Okay. This is what I'm talking about, where it shows the how it correlates the jobs. And so it has the jobs that are coming in, spits out the easiest one first, and then the mining machine takes over. And the false jobs are tossed out, so that doesn't have to do them. Okay. So this is just a couple of pictures of the office. Each one of these, the teeny weeny rack here, this little tray. This has like 20 boosters inside of it. I can't remember, they said there's like 1,000 or something boosters here in this room alone. This is the smallest room. There are only 500,000 boosters that will be sold. Okay. These are people that have toured around their office and had a look. This is the CEO, Logan Lee. and Lenny was part of the operation when they created Ethereum. Okay, so he's got a knowledge of how cryptocurrency works, and Logan Lee has a background in finance, and so he basically fronted the money to create these boosters, and went in conjunction with Lenny, and so now the company that they formed is now selling the boosters to us. Okay, like I said, it's $1,000 for each booster. They've been interviewed 4 times that I know of on Binance. Binance is a well-known exchange. Okay, and over the next couple of months, well, actually a couple of months ago in the expo, they won an award for the best technology provider, and so that was really cool. So it's a brand new company, started in April, and we started just at the end of April, the beginning of May. Okay, so that's a brief overview of what this company is about. And what I'll do is I'll stop my video, and then we can answer any questions if anybody has any questions. So feel free to stick up your hands. And I will in fact stop the video as well, because then anybody doing replay won't see this. So what I'm going to say to the people that may watch this video is try it out, have a good experience. Figure it out, get going. The more time you waste in not taking action, the more money you're losing. It's that simple. If you want to earn some passive income, come jump on, come have a look.